Attention passionate LAS, Vegas Raiders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Las Vegas Raiders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Las Vegas Raiders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and LAS, Vegas Raiders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. We're diving into some very interesting NFL rumors. And while they might seem like just whispers right now, they could have huge implications for the Raiders and the entire AFC West. You see, the NFL offseason is always filled with speculation, trades, signings, and strategic moves. But this particular story has been gaining momentum, especially among insiders and analysts who follow the league closely. And it involves a prominent player from the Cleveland Browns, a team that's been in the spotlight for different reasons lately, but now it's all about the potential for a trade that could shake up the division. The player at the center of this, believe it or not, is Newsome II. Yes, the young cornerback who's been showing flashes of brilliance, yet has also faced some injury setbacks. Newsome is entering the final year of his rookie contract, which naturally makes him a prime candidate for trades or negotiations. And interestingly enough, there have been ongoing rumors for over a year about Cleveland possibly moving him before the 2025 season. Why? Well, because the Browns are in a bit of a tricky spot when it comes to their cornerback depth, especially with another promising player, Martin Emerson Jr., also approaching free agency. Now, this puts Cleveland in a dilemma. Do they hold onto both and risk losing one for nothing? Or do they consider trading Newsome, a player who's still only 25 years old with a lot of upside and a former first-round pick, to potentially get some valuable draft capital or a needed position upgrade? That's where the rumors get interesting, and one of the most talked-about potential landing spots for Newsome, according to analysts like Brandon Austin from Pro Football Network, is none other than the Las Vegas Raiders. Imagine that, Raiders fans. The possibility of adding a young, talented cornerback with first-round pedigree to your secondary. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Is this really happening? Would the Raiders go after a player like Newsome? Well, considering the Raiders' recent moves and their ongoing quest to bolster their defense, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Remember, the Raiders have been proactive in free agency and trades before, targeting players they believe can make an immediate impact and fit their system. And with the team's defense needing reinforcements, especially in the secondary, adding someone like Newsome could make a lot of sense. Let's take a closer look at Newsome's recent performance. Last season, he faced some challenges, and his numbers reflect that. He allowed a passer rating of 112, 5 on 51 targets, which isn't ideal, especially for a player with his talent and potential. But it's important to consider context. He's only 25, coming off 3 solid seasons with the Browns, and was once seen as a rising star in the league. His first 3 years showed promise, with good coverage skills, ball skills, and the ability to match up against top receivers. The problem is, 2024 was a bit of a down year for him. He registered just 27 tackles, 1 interception, 5 passes defended, and a grade of 52. 2 from Pro Football Focus, which is quite poor compared to his previous standards. And here's the thing, if you're Cleveland, you've got to ask yourself, is last year just an anomaly or a sign of things to come? Newsome's injury history is also a concern. He's had some nagging injuries that kept him off the field at times, and the Browns might not want to gamble on waiting to see if he can return to form. They're in a position where they could consider moving him now, especially if they believe they can replace him or develop other players internally. But this is where the Raiders could come in. Adding a player like Newsome could represent a low-risk, high-reward move. At 25, he's still young with a lot of room for growth. Plus, the Raiders have been looking to improve their secondary for quite some time. Last season, their pass defense was decent but inconsistent, and they lacked that game-changing corner that could lock down top receivers. Bringing in someone with Newsome's pedigree, who has shown flashes of elite talent, could be exactly what the team needs to push over the edge. And let's not forget, the AFC West is fiercely competitive. The Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, and Los Angeles Chargers all have explosive offenses and talented quarterbacks. The Raiders must respond with a defense that can keep up. Cornerback is a critical position, especially in today's NFL where passing games are king. If the Raiders could secure Newsome, it would give them a significant boost, not just in coverage, but also in confidence for their young secondary core. Now, it's also worth mentioning that Cleveland might not want to part ways with Newsome so easily. They're aware of his upside, and if they hold on to him, they could develop him further and see if he can bounce back from last year's struggles. But if a good offer comes along, especially one that includes draft picks or players that fill immediate needs, Cleveland might consider it. The trade market is always fluid, and the Browns are known for their strategic moves in the offseason. So, what does this all mean for the Raiders? Well, it's a great opportunity to potentially land a talented player who can be a cornerstone for their secondary for years to come. The Raiders have been investing in their defense, especially in their front seven, but adding a corner like Newsome could complete that puzzle. Imagine him lining up against the division's top receivers, guys like Patrick Mahomes, targets, or even the Chargers' explosive wideouts. Having a young, talented corner with the physical tools and ball skills that Newsome possesses could make a huge difference. Of course, negotiations in the NFL are complex, and many factors influence whether a trade happens or not. The Browns might want to see how their other young corners develop, or they might prefer to keep Newsome and see if they can get him back to his 2022 form. But the fact that this rumor is even circulating is enough to get Raiders fans excited. It signals that the team's management is looking for creative ways to improve and compete at the highest level. And for those of you who love to analyze the offseason moves, it's interesting to see how this potential trade fits into the bigger picture. The Raiders have been aggressive in free agency, signing players that can contribute immediately, and they've also explored trade options for draft capital or proven veterans. Adding someone like Newsome could be a strategic move that pays dividends in the long run, especially if he returns to his early career form. Looking ahead, the Raiders' coaching staff and front office will have some tough decisions to make. Do they pursue this trade? How much are they willing to give up? And can they help Newsome realize his full potential with a change of scenery and a fresh start? These are questions that will be answered in the coming weeks as the NFL offseason heats up. It's also worth remembering the history of the Raiders' secondary. Over the years, the team has always valued strong defensive backs, whether it's been Hall of Famers or solid role players. The recent draft picks and free agent signings show that they're committed to building a defense that can compete with the best. Bringing in a young talent like Newsome would fit perfectly into that philosophy, especially if he can recover his form and become a shutdown corner once again. And let's not forget, the Raiders are in a unique position. They're trying to make a leap into serious playoff contention, and every move counts. Whether it's drafting new players, signing free agents, or making trades, the goal is clear: build a team that can compete for the Super Bowl. And if acquiring a player like Newsome helps them get closer to that goal, it's a move worth considering. So, Raiders fans, what do you think? Is this the kind of move you want to see your team make? Do you believe that Newsome can bounce back and become a key piece of your defense? Or do you think Cleveland will hang on to him and try to develop him further? Either way, it's shaping up to be an exciting offseason, and the potential for big moves like this adds to the anticipation. And now, Las Vegas Raiders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Las Vegas Raiders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Las Vegas Raiders news. We're in the middle of an offseason that promises a lot of surprises, and this possible Newsome trade could be just the beginning of something even bigger. Keep your eyes on the team, stay passionate, and let's see how this story unfolds in the coming weeks. The AFC West is already competitive as ever, but with moves like this, the Raiders could be positioning themselves to take a giant leap forward. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Raiders!